So this evening I am working on the center of another crown. I just finished up the lining and ties for another hat. So I'm just trying to do a little bit of this crown this evening. And as such, this straw is dry rather than damp like I normally work with if I'm going to do a lot of sewing. Because it's dry, it's a bit tougher. It kind of, has a mind of its own on some of these curves. When I work with straw like this, you can see I'm putting a lot of pressure with this thumb to help get around this curve. And this will actually cramp up. And this makes me think about all the women who would sew straw at home in the New England area. It was part of a cottage industry, a way for them to make a little extra money at home. And they would get paid by the piece. And I can't help but think about the seasonality of this. So here we are, beginning of March. I'm sewing right about the time they would have been sewing. They would have been sewing back into February, January, February actually, to get ready for the spring season, because these pieces need to be collected and taken to basically like a straw hat factory, straw bonnet factory, to be wired and finished and blocked. And then they'd go off to the millinery shops for their linings and their embellishments. So the women at home were working on these pieces really in the depths of winter. So I can tell you, working with dry straw, just this little bit, my hand's getting pretty tired. Working with damp straw, the straw can get pretty cold. I don't know about you, but working with cold items can make the hands ache. And I have the luxury of modern heating. They would have been working by firewood stove, period heating system, which would also be fairly drying to the straw. So you're struggling with keeping warm, keeping the straw supple, not having the straw dry out, not having the finished pieces dry out. So a bit of a environmental quandary in terms of work environment. As you can see with this piece, because I am working with a dry straw, it's starting to curve rather than lay flat. So I will work on that in the blocking process. Now you'll notice if you look at period illustrations, women who are sewing at home, even the illustrations where it looks like they're sewing inside a millinery shop, it looks like they're working over their millinery block with the block on the table or on their lap. And on occasion I will do that, more so with the smaller blocks than the bigger blocks, basically because some of those big blocks are big, they're heavy, they rival the cat in size. Other times I will just do it freehand like this and then block in sections afterwards. Alright, so that's starting to curve a little more than I would like, so I'm going to need to block that flat. And I'm to the end of my thread. So I think that'll be it for this evening. See you next time. We'll talk a little bit more about some of those women that did the millinery. We'll take a look at some millinery assistants next time.